1/2 x minus 3 equals 1/3 x plus 4. Okay, what do you think I'm going to do? Because now you already know my style. You know what I'm going to do.
Distribute?
Yes, but I'd rather eliminate fractions.
Ah, okay.
If I want to eliminate fractions, I need to find the least common denominator. And you should always think in those terms because you make the equation so much easier instead of distributing and getting 4 fractions. Nothing wrong with distributing. But it's much better and easier if we eliminate all fractions from the beginning. What do you think is the least common denominator?
It'd be 6.
Absolutely, because they are 2 prime numbers. They have no common factors. Obviously, we'll need to multiply by 6. Remember, multiplication is commutative and distributive, right? So you multiply here in front. So 6 times 1/2 will be 3. 6 times 1/3 will be 2. And in one little step, look how the equation looks now. Yes, now I will distribute. So I have 3x minus 9 equals 2x.
I can't see your paper.
Oh, of course you cannot. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So we decided that the least common denominator was 6. So 6 multiplied by 1/2, we get 3. And then we copy parentheses. 6 times 1/3 is 2. Do not be tempted to say, but I have to distribute 6 to 1/3 and 6. No, 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 no. This is not the distributive law. This is a number times a quantity. So when I multiply the number by the number in front, I get 2. Because I know, and students sometimes get confused and say, oh, you didn't distribute to x plus 4. No, this is not the distributive law. This is 6 multiplied by 1/3 multiplied by x plus 4. And when I multiply these two, I get 2. This is what I'm going to distribute. I'm not saying you would have asked that question. I'm just saying in the past I was asked that question. And now the rest is a piece of cake because I move 2x to the other side and I get x. And I move -9 to the other side and I get 17. Again, please do not enter an answer before you verify it. We decided to do that always. What's the point in losing the points, 4 or 5 points on a very simple equation? Always go back and check. Don't just say, oh, x equals 17, I move on to the next problem. No, because it only takes less than half a minute, few seconds to put 17 in here. And if the left-hand side does not equal the right-hand side, 17 is wrong. And you don't miss 4 or 5 points. So 17 minus 3 is 14. 14 divided by 2, the left-hand side is 7. If I don't get the left-hand side to be 7, then this is wrong. 17 plus 4 is 21. 21 divided by 3 is indeed 7. And I know I'm not going to lose points. Good. Any questions? Anybody? Good. So let's work on the second one for a minute. Just work for a minute. If you worked on it, then we'll continue. If you didn't get the chance or you forgot, work on it for 1 minute. And let's see what we get. Is that okay with everybody or not? Please say something so I know. So I know what to do. Are you okay with that idea? 4 quantity. Yes?
Yeah, that's fine.
So 4 quantity x minus 1 plus 3 equals 3 quantity x plus 5. This is exactly the same step with this. not having the complication with fractions. Okay. Ready? So 4x minus 4 plus 3 equals 3x plus 15. Combine like terms first. Don't rush into moving terms around. First combine like terms. Then move 3x and then move -1. Is it true? I don't know. But I will not enter it before I check. I refuse to do that. I put 16 in here and 16 in here. If the left-hand side doesn't equal the right-hand side, I'll say oops and I'll start from scratch. Okay, so let's calculate. So we have 16 minus 1 is 15. 15 times 4. So 4 times 15 plus 3. Does this equal 3 multiplied by 21? And you don't even have to do this by hand. You're allowed to use a calculator. You punch it in the calculator and see if the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. Careful how you punch it in, though. So 4 multiplied by 15, and then plus 3. And if this does not equal 3 times 21, then you know something is terribly wrong, and we have to go back and redo the problem. That's all you need. It takes 15 seconds. But you don't miss 4 or 5 points. Because I got the left-hand side to equal the right-hand side. And this is a conditional equation. Good. Solve the inequalities and present the solutions in interval notation. Let's work on this. So this was a topic that we did some time ago. It comes back in here, but it shouldn't be again. But anyway, so let's talk about it. Negative 3x minus 1 greater than 3x plus 12. Good. This is like an equation. The left-hand side is fully simplified. The right-hand side is fully simplified. I have to move 3x next to this, and I have to move -1 next to the other, on the other side. It's positive here. It becomes negative. So I have negative 6x. And then greater than, it was negative. Now it's positive, 12 plus 1. I have to divide both sides by a negative number. When I do that in an inequality, either divide or multiply both sides of an inequality by a negative number. Do we remember what happens?
It flips.
Yes, that's correct. So from what it was to the opposite. Excellent. Do you understand why? Let me explain why this happens. So let's say, is 2 less than 3? That is true. But if I multiply both sides by -1, I can no longer use this symbol because it's wrong. -2 is not smaller than -3. It's greater than -3. That's the reason why we have to always is flip from whatever it was, less than or equal to, or just less than, to the opposite, greater than or equal to, because it's no longer valid. Now, if we multiply both sides by a positive number, that stays. This is still true. But only if we multiply or divide by a negative number, we must flip. And only in an inequality, of course. And now, how do I write this in interval notation? It's to the left, from negative infinity to negative 13/6. If the inequality symbol had the equal symbol as well, I would have used the bracket. But I do not use a bracket because the symbol does not have the equal as well. Good. Let's look at the other one. For quantity x minus 1 greater than or equal to 4x. We distribute, of course. Or you could simplify by dividing both sides by 4. There are no fractions. It's okay. So I have 4x minus 4 greater than or equal to 4x. But when I subtract 4x from both sides, 4x goes away. So I have negative 4 greater than or equal to 0. The question now is this true or is it false? Is this a true statement or a false statement? Let's decide.
False.
It is a false statement. Therefore, what do we conclude about this inequality? What do we say about this inequality? We did not get any x values, and furthermore, we got a statement that we can never accept. What will we say about this inequality? The inequality has
No solution.
Thank you very much. We haven't determined any x. Furthermore, we got a totally unacceptable statement. Good. Very good. So now let's work on the next one. We have a formula 2a minus b equals 3c. We're asked to solve for c. Let me know what you decide to do. And remember, you have two options. Sometimes one is more preferred than the other.
Can you just divide by 3?
Absolutely. That's all we need to do. But we have two options. One option is to write a long fraction line and 3 in the denominator. I prefer 2 divided by 3, a, minus 1 divided by 3, b. This is what I prefer. Good. So let's continue. Any questions on this? Okay. Yes, you can write it and it's not incorrect. It's correct and acceptable to write this. However, Remember, this is more preferred in case we're asked to find the slope. Right here, if this is the equation of a line, so let's suppose it is, then it's more difficult to understand that the slope is 2/3. But here is very clear that the slope, assuming that this is x, the slope is 2/3. That's why I don't like this notation. They are both acceptable. They are both correct. But this is more revealing, if you want, than this one. It's clear. This one is not clear. Good, moving on. Including 6% sales tax, a car was sold for $33,850. What was the price of the car before the tax? Write an equation, then solve it. So 33,850, and the sales tax is 6. And this is problem 4. How do I write the equation? What equation do I write, etc., etc.? Can anyone tell us, assuming that the actual price was X, how do we write the equation?
As a proportion?
No, we have to write an equation first. The proportion is also an equation, but we have to write something before we get to the proportion. So the idea is that we want to purchase an item. The item has price X, but when we go to the cashier, the cashiers, they add 6% of the price. So how do we write that scenario? And we end up paying $33,850. We have to write an equation.
Y equals 0.06x plus 33850?
No. So the total is 33,850. This is what we end up paying. We cannot add anything else to it. That's the total.
Is it x plus 6 equals?
You mean 0.06. We can never use 6%. We have to change it to 0.06. So to the original price, we add 6% of the original price, and we end up paying this. When you calculate the left-hand side, what do we get? Because these are like terms, I have to combine them. So when you combine these two, what do we get? We have to combine these. What do we get?
1.06?
Exactly. And then finally, how do we get X? What is the procedure? And we'll do it together.
Divide 33,850 by 1.06.
Exactly it. Excellent. So with the graphing calculator, we divide 33850 by 1.06. So the original price, the initial price was 31,933.96. To this amount, 6% was added, but 6% of it, of the amount of the original price. And we ended up paying 33,850 because of the sales tax that was added on. So to the original price, 6% of the original price was calculated and added to the original price, and we ended up paying this. Is this understood? Perfect. Let's continue. That was 4. Mira's test average is based on 4 exams. So she has the scores of 81, 91, 93, sorry about that, and a 4th test. And we know that we don't know what is her grade that she needs on the 4th exam for an average to be 90. Write an equation that models the problem and then solve it. So she needs an average of 90%, and she already has these very good grades. She's trying to calculate what she needs on the 4th test for the average of these 4 exams to give her an average of 90 or more. So what is the minimum? So let's think about the problem for a moment, and when you're ready, tell me what to write. If you have an idea about the equation, let me know.
Would it be 81 plus 91?